and welcome back to the Bookmas thing that we're doing. It's winter time. That's why we're scarfed and hatted. And look at the waviness of the hair. It feels wintry.
Yeah.
Maybe autumnal. I'm not sure.
The short sleeves.
The short sleeves. No, these are long sleeves. This is a jumper. Just pretend it's a jumper.
Oh, okay. It's like people in Australia when they take their Christmas photos.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've got the Santa hat and everything.
And they're like short shorts in the pool. In this video, we are going to be talking about some of the texts we've read in 2021 that was surprising. And that's a weird word, surprising. Books aren't often surprising other than surprise twists.
Yeah, these aren't mystery books.
These are not mystery books, unless Olivia has some that are mystery books. I don't know what she's picked. But what we mean by surprising is books that surprise us, whether that be good or bad or just surprised us. And I'm going to let Olivia start this one because my entry is a little short.
Let's start with the first one of the year.
Okay.
Grownups. This was a £4.50 supermarket book that I feel should have been terrible. I picked it up kind of mockingly. I don't know if you remember when we bought it.
I remember you bought it because it was like an Asda, it's like £4.50.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh no, this is going to be terrible. And they were really pushing it. It came out in I think like 5 different colours. You could get a pink one, and an orange one, and a green one, and it was like that doesn't really bode well for me. No. That means that they're having to put a lot into getting people to look at it because the story itself isn't very good. So very, very low expectations, but actually really enjoyed it. It was just kind of for the length of it, it was a very easy read. You felt like you clicked with all the characters quite quickly. You were kind of into it, and didn't really have a huge like payoff at the end. It was just kind of the whole thing wrapped up very neatly, but it was fun. It was
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure it would be a reread,
but it was an experience, not a poolside read.
No, it was a positive experience that I enjoyed.
Cool.
So yeah, randomly pick up £4.50 books.
Down again when they don't look too terrible.
They might be good. I mean, it sounded terrible.
Well, you know what?
So
My surprising read is along that same vein. I picked up a book in an Edinburgh used bookshop because Olivia had found it and wanted to spend 6 days perusing through 10,000 old books, and I was only more than happy to join her. This is what we do when we go away. I just saw this cover and I went, that looks stupid. And it was Flashman. I love it. And that's why it's surprising, because it looks dumb. I mean, look at this thing. It looks ridiculous. It's from 1967, and it's just stupid and maybe a bit insulting. My
next surprising
It's relevant to Olivia's next surprising read, but, sorry, spoilers. But it's basically, if you've read Tom Brown's School Days by Thomas Hughes, which is Olivia's next book, it's essentially the story of the bully, Flashman. What happens to Flashman? And so he's like, I know, how about I just insert him into historical scenarios from 1840 onwards and just yeet him around the world to various ridiculous things, from being part of the retreat from Kabul and the battle through the Khyber Pass, all the way to the Civil War and part of the Underground Railroad, the 1848 Liberal Revolutions, the Charge of the Light Brigade, the Battle of Balaclava. It's brilliant. It's stupid, and he survives by being an absolute coward in every instance and banging everybody left and right. It's James Bond if it was written by a drunk, but a drunk who's having a great time. I like it a lot, and I'm so surprised at how much I love it. They've went to great efforts to find me second-hand copies of all of them, and I'm reading them all and I'm devouring them. I've read like 5.
Yeah, you got through 5 in a month?
6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I love them, I really do. That's my surprising read. It's great. You should read it if you haven't. It's a bit historical, but done a lot today. And linking to that,
which led to me reading Tom Brown's School Days.
No, you read.
No, okay, so
did I find Flashman first?
No. Tom Brown's School Days was set as one of the weekly texts on my 19th century module.
Yeah.
And it was the lecturer set it up as, I wrote I think it was his master's or his PhD dissertation on this book. You need to read it next week. Just a warning, it's a really heavy read. You're probably not going to like it. It's a bit of a slog. But for some reason, I love it, was kind of how he set it up.
Sure.
So I went into it with very low expectations. When you're trying to read 3 or 4 books in a week and do all the seminar work to go with them, you really haven't got time for a book that's this long and is set up as being a very heavy slog.
Yeah.
And I only read, I think, a couple of chapters before the class and was like, okay, I see what he means. This is just going on and on and on. We'll just wing it through that seminar. It's fine. Put it away on my bookshelf and forgot about it. and then you found Flashman.
So it was Flashman
Yeah,
first,
and
okay.
you then said, wait a minute, didn't you read Tom Brown?
Yeah,
And I was like,
that was it, that's it, yeah.
And then you started to read Flashman, and I was like, you know what, I want to give it another try. And again, obviously went into it with very low expectations, and yes, the first couple of chapters is a slog to the point where even the author makes a joke about it. A couple of times he's like, if you've made it through this, well done. Or there's like another chapter, I think like 4 or 5 in, where he said, if you're not interested in this particular topic, just skip this chapter and move on. Like, so it's kind of this running joke through the first bit of the book that, yeah, this is really heavy, and it's kind of, there's way more description than you need, and there's very little plot, and it's not an easy read, but I actually really enjoyed it this time round. And want to read Tom Brown at Oxford if
Hunting
I
the
can ever
sequel.
find it.
Yeah,
so
I want to read it as well, especially just to
surprise.
learn more about Flashman.
Yeah, he's in the first half of it, and then he gets expelled.
Does.
So, spoiler alert.
Yep, and then goes on to be the hero of Britain and other places as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant, I love it.
I'll get around to Flashman at some point.
And she will, she's going to read it all. And Sharp.
I watched Sharp.
Oh!
Maybe.
That'll be next year's surprising read.
There you go. I'll be like, I love this is great. But yeah, glad that I actually persevered with this. There were a couple of times where I wanted to put it down and be like, oh, this is just too much.
Yeah.
But no, it was worth persevering with. I think it'd be better on a reread because you're more invested in the characters.
I'm looking forward to reading it myself.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I have 2 copies of it, so we can read it at the same time.
Ah! Any others?
A negative surprise! Hey, look, it's this wonderful book back. I went into it with very high expectations because it's the author of The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I was like, oh man, I love this. As soon as I found out about it, I was like, I couldn't wait to buy it. I couldn't wait to start reading it. It was terrible. Watch the worst books of the year video because I'm not going over it again. But this was the most disappointing read of the year because I went into it thinking it was going to be so good. Yeah, hard to believe The Perks of Being a Wallflower was my top 3 books. And then this is one of my worst 3 books. What a surprise.
Yep. Jesus, look at that. That's huge. Look at the other video and possibly a different section of a review that Olivia might have filmed another time for her full opinions.
My full rant when I've worked out what it's about.
I think that's it, really. We haven't got a lot of surprising reads. For me, it's just Flashman because I feel like every book I've read this year has been pretty much kind of what I was expecting. If I expected to like a book, I generally did. If I expected to hate it, I generally did. Part of that is because of, you know, what I expect is what's going to happen because I think I make it. But to be honest, I haven't read a lot.
You really read within one genre.
I read within one genre. Yeah, I read a lot of historical fiction.
Whereas I just jump around all over the place.
Yeah, I've got a lot of classics. Read the books I'm going to read next year. Damn, language is hard. Watch that video. Links in the description and everywhere else around us for what I'm going to read. But I have a lot of classics that I really want to get into, and hopefully next year I will have a lot of surprising reads as well from 2022. And hopefully 2022 is a bit of a better year for the world. So thank you so much for watching. Happy Bookmas and Christmas-tober. That's Booktober. That's Spooktober. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And I'm running out of Christmas outfits to wear in these videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.